So, can you really fix stiff knees in just 8 minutes? Well, I'm going to share with you how. I'm going to save this video for when your knees feel stiff after run, whether it's from logging miles, sitting too long, or just daily wear and tear. This quick video guide for the knees will help your knees move better and hurt less. I'm Dr. Peralta, physical therapist, run coach, and exercise physiologist. Over the last 10 years, I've helped hundreds of runners shave minutes off their times and get rid of nagging injuries, especially knee stiffness. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 essential stretches that I prescribe to my runners dealing with stiff knees. They're simple, effective, and you can do them almost anywhere, no gym required. So when your knees get stiff after a long run, a short run, a speed run, a long day sitting, right? Or, maybe just a lot of activity, maybe you're doing a bunch of different, you're just going for a hike. It's often not the knee itself. That's the problem. It's tightness in the surrounding structures, whether it's the muscles, ligaments, connective tissue, the quadriceps, hamstrings at the hip, or even ankle affecting the knee. These tissues all cross the knee joint. If they're locked up, your knee can't move right. Your knee will let you know because you'll start feeling stiffness first and then pain. And we're going to loosen up the entire system in just 8 minutes with these 4 moves. So the first one, I'm going to go get my box here ready for you, is going to be a standing knee extension stretch with self-overpressure. So what are you going to do? You can grab a box or chair. I'm going to grab a little stool here, and you're going to place your foot. You can see here what I'm doing. Bam. Place the leg on there. Self-overpressure, pressure on, pressure off. You could also do this on the plain floor, right? Pressure on, pressure off. And you're going to hold this for a few seconds and set a timer. Maybe repeat this for about 2 minutes or so. And you can do, obviously, both legs if both legs are stiff and achy. And then that will take you about 4 minutes if you do both legs. And you can repeat it either twice a day for 8 minutes or even 3 times a day for 12 minutes if you do both legs. So that's knee extension with self-overpressure. Really great. It's one of the most common knee exercises I show with my runners. The next one's going to be a banded terminal knee extension. We're going to take a band, we're going to wrap it around the knee. So let me go show that real quick here. Get the TheraBand out. So we get our TheraBand. This can also be done with a loop style band. Cool. And you can see here, I got the knee, got my involved knee, hyperextending. I'm going to this kind of staggered position. One leg's in front. Let's say this is the stiff knee. I'm going to hyperextend, hold for about 3 seconds or so. Again, I'm going to set a timer for about 2 minutes, and I'll repeat that until the 2 minutes are up. And then obviously I could do the other side. That'll give 4 minutes total. And then you do it twice a day. That's 8 minutes. Cool. And obviously, you also do it 3 times a day if you're very stiff. The banded knee extension, if you want more resistance, use a stronger band. The next one I recommend is the quadriceps lacrosse ball smash. Right. So you can start with a foam roller if you're brand new to doing like soft tissue work or release. Grab my foam roller here. Right. So boom, got a foam roller. And you could roll out your quadriceps. Bam. Right, so then you can spend like 2 minutes, but when you're rolling, don't just roll up and down randomly. You're going to find a tight spot, a trigger point. And when you find that trigger point, you're going to put direct pressure on there and hang out there for like up to a minute and go up to 2 minutes if you can tolerate it. Right, you want to put direct pressure on the trigger point. You could also stack the legs together, flex and extend the leg. Now, if you're not feeling too much with the foam roller, oftentimes you have to go to a small surface area. And that's where my friend, the lacrosse ball comes in. You get that lacrosse ball, put it right above the kneecap, and then put pressure, just make sure it sticks. And then bam, whoa, I feel that, all right? And then you're gonna hold it, again, put direct pressure. If you don't find a trigger spot, a trigger point, we feel like jumping off the ball, you're not in the right spot because you feel almost like you're jumping off because it kind of hurts. Again, you're gonna put pressure on that trigger point, build yourself up, do a minute, and then up to 2 minutes. And you may have multiple trigger points, right? So if you have multiple trigger points, because you go along the front of the quad, the side of the quad, what some people call the IT band, I call the outer quad, right? You can go all the way up, even up into the hip there, right? You may spend like 10 minutes on one leg just releasing all the knots or the trigger points. And then if you do both legs, you're actually looking at 20 minutes. But if you're short on time, you could do 2 minutes of just on the most painful trigger points and then do 2 minutes on both legs, right? So you could shorten it down, but this is the one that you actually might spend the most time on is with the soft tissue release. But again, if you're short on time, 2 minutes is fine. And then work. But if you have more time, go up to like 10, even 20 minutes, because if you're going to do both legs. Next is the popliteal stretch or terminal knee extension. This is going to require a stretch strap or a belt. You're going to take your belt here. A lot of times people lack terminal knee extension. So what you're going to do is take your stretch strap. You can set up also a block or foam roller underneath and put pressure on, pressure off here. Hyperextend the knee, get a deep stretch into terminal knee extension. If you're not sure if you have terminal knee extension, a simple test you can do. You go into this long sitting position like I am here and hyperextend the knee. If you hyperextend, you see how my heel pops off the ground, right? I got terminal knee extension. And then if I do compare to the other side, same thing. Let's get the microphone here. If we do the terminal knee extension, you could see same thing. Right side's a little stiff, so I'll probably spend some time here working on the right side. And then with that, again, you could also do this without the foam roller as well. So I'll show you that variation as well. Just take your stretch strap, put it on, pressure on. You can see now the terminal knee extension happening as I pull the foot up, pressure on, pressure off. Set a timer for like 2 minutes. Do both legs, that's 4 minutes. Do that twice a day, that's 8 minutes. So these are 4 different types of stretches or exercises you could do. These are the most kind of common ones I see in a lot of runners, because a lot of times people who take up the sport of running actually have sedentary jobs, kind of tend to work desk jobs. Not everyone, of course, but most people I work with tend to be the weekend warrior type person who Monday to Friday, they sit at a desk, and then on the weekend they go for a run, but then oftentimes they have very stiff knees, and their knees are usually bent like 90 degrees in a chair, sitting all day, then they go try to run. Even if they try to run during the middle of the week, they still find their knees are stiff. So to help offset that, they could warm them up or stretch them. And now you can still do this as part of a dynamic warm-up, right? You could do your dynamic warm-up and do some of these movements. Some of them could be done in an active dynamic way. So don't be afraid, because some of them look like they're static stretches. When you're doing a dynamic, when a repeated motion, it could still count as a dynamic stretch. So when I assess runners with knee pain, that first thing I check is that terminal knee extension. Can they fully straighten the knee? Because if they can't lock out their knee, whether it's after running or prolonged sitting, that stiffness will eventually show up in poor running mechanics, loss of speed, or worse, potential knee injury, like runner's knee, patellofemoral pain syndrome, IT band syndrome. So these 4 drills are part of my go-to arsenal to restore full function and keep knees pain-free. So try this routine out and save it for future runs. And drop a comment below if you notice your knees feeling much more flexed, more mobile after doing this routine. And if you want more pain-free running tips, check out my free training for runners, link in the description.